Hi everybody, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets, and today we're going to review the brand new Sony WH-1000XM3s, also compare them to the old XM2s and look at how they sound to some other headphones like the Beats. I've got a separate video doing a comparison between these and the Bose QC35 Mark II, so look out for that. So let's take a closer look at the box. You'll notice it says high-res audio, 30 hours playback time, wireless noise cancellation, and there's a few other bits and pieces on the back here. So it talks about HD voice, 10-minute charge, give you up to 5 hours. It does take 2.5 to 3 hours to completely recharge, and it tells you some of the other things. I'm going to have the unboxing of the WH-1000XM2s also playing at the same time, so you can just see some comparisons as we do this. When I unbox those, you can see it's very different. The first thing you'll notice is that when you take the box away, that there's no hard box in here. You just go straight to the actual sort of case, protective case, which is nice to have. There's a few leaflets in here, tells you how to do it, how to use it, that sort of stuff, but I'm going to show you all that so you don't need any of that. This is the case itself, so you've got this nice sort of flap here, zip. This case is different to last year's, just make sure I've got the right way around. This is how you do it. So the difference first of all here is that you have the cable, the 3.5mm headphone cable. This is thinner, lighter, and not as heavy duty as the one that you had on the previous model. Here and here you've got your airplane adapter, and here you have a very small, very handy Type-C connection, which is really good. So let's take a closer look at the headphones, and you'll see when you're looking at the old versions, these newer ones have a much thicker headband here. By taking a lot of that steel out, it makes them lighter. It's about 40 grams lighter, so they feel lighter. They're much lighter on the head, more comfortable. These cushions, the actual size is slightly bigger, and there's slightly more padding here. Some people might still find that not deep enough, and you might find a few other things like they get quite warm as well. So you've got NFC here. That's where you plug the 3.5mm cable in. You can use them either on or off with the wired setup, so you can have them either way, completely passive, so it's just using the cable only. If you want noise cancellation but using the cable, you can do that as well, so you don't have to use the Bluetooth. And you've got, there's the 3.5mm. There's the USB-C connection. On this side you have, and also you'll see around the headphone there's all these different mics as well, which is all about noise cancellation. You've got the noise cancellation ambient sound switch. A bit closer to that. Also, when you've got Google Assistant set up, you can toggle that between Google Assistant as well, on off, and really quite straightforward. So how does everything else work? Well, just like the previous version, you have this touch pad here. The difference is this is a much smoother surface, and just takes a little bit of adjustment to get used to it. So double tap for calls or play pause, swipe that way left and right to skip tracks. And what you find is that when you want to skip a track, you slide and hold for a second, and it registers that's what you want to do. You want to go forward or you want to go back. If you want volume up, take and hold for a split second, just like that. Just doing that, it's just like that, and then down, and it works really well. And the nice thing is that when you're listening, someone wants to talk to you, you want to hear quickly, just hold your hand over the right cup, and it is very well sort of marked right and left. So here is the app. It shows you we're connected to the Sony headphones. We're using the highest codec possible, which is LDAC, and the battery's at 100%. You can check up here the firmware version, and this is version 2. There is a firmware update when you first get these. If you look at the adaptive sound, you can have that on or off, and you can customize how it all works, and it automatically can detect what you're doing. You then have the noise cancelling optimizer. So if you were flying, you would read, or moving to a different altitude, it's worth just doing this periodically to get the perfect sound for you. You can also change the positioning of the sound, how it sort of works. Do you want it in front, back, to the side? You can do surround sound. You've got an equalizer with a separate clear bass option as well. The equalizer only works when you're not using the LDAC support. So what that would mean is you'd be priority on stable connection. But you've also then got the upscaler for lower coded MP3s as well, and you've got further control of the button, as I mentioned before. So either have it as the ambient sound option, where you toggle through the different options from ambient sound, noise cancellation off, and then you can have a power off to save battery. But it is quite a neat little thing, and this also, as I said, will do the firmware updates. One last thing to remember: if you are in LDAC, you do need to do one last thing, and that is you need to go through to your phone, and you need to you tap on the settings, and when it's connected you can toggle to use LDAC, and that won't appear until the headphones are first paired. Then you just go back into the settings and just turn it on if it's not on. That's assuming you want to use LDAC for the best quality. So now you can see the close-up, show you what they look like on. They're very comfortable on. Cuts out a lot of noise, even just putting these ear cups over your head. In terms of sound quality and noise cancellation and calls, if I do the calls first, taking voice calls, excellent call clarity. I also like the fact that you can have ambient sound where you can have and hear everything that's going on, and I also like the fact that you can cup your hand over the right cup, hold it over there, and then you can have a conversation with someone temporarily and carry on listening to the music. In terms of comfort, they're very comfortable, but you can get quite hot with these. There is that part where they do get slightly hot, but they are more comfortable than the previous ones. In terms of sort of how they compare to something like the Beats Studio 3 wireless, you can probably see I reviewed those previously, and I'll leave a link below. The Beats had a certain sort of characteristic sound. The Sony can take those on quite comfortably now and provide a superior superior sound, both for noise cancellation and audio and music. They also have phenomenal range, just like the Beats Studio 3 wireless did. So one of the sort of selling points of the Beats was that connection due to the Apple chip in there. Sony now have their QM1 processor in these, and yep, they've caught on and it does work. The QM1 processor is also to help with the audio quality, and I've got to say, these are fantastic. Obviously you can use the higher codecs like aptX HD or LDAC, but even the basic aptX, they sound amazing. Really, really amazing. The music's feels like it's come to life. You can hear a bit more clarity in the treble, a bit more detail in the mid-range, a bit more punch in the lower end as well. They're just exciting to listen to, and I've went through classical, I went through jazz, I went through pop, dance, electronic, rock, alternative, you name it. I had a listen to it, and I just didn't want to put these down. They were really, really good, and with such a lengthy 30 hours maximum playtime, which is thereabouts, just depending on how loud you listen to music. And also fantastic, finally, Type-C is the connection there, so nice. And also like the fact that they've made space for the audio cable properly now in the portable case. So there you have it. I mean, if you want the best in noise cancellation, these are the ones. I think they're as good as some wired counterparts. I think you need to be spending sort of £500 upwards on a wired headphone with a decent amp to get close to these. They are that good. You know, they've suddenly taken a leap forward. Everything they're all about, I love them. I really, really do. So this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Check out my comparison with the Bose because it's quite interesting, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye for now.